Namaste and welcome to this Wednesday morning yoga. This is our second week of heart openers to release the tension from the superficial and functional fascial lines at the front of the body. And of course, we always work with the whole body, but that's our primary focus for today. And towards the end of the class, we'll be practicing a flirtation with the shoulder stand today. So for the shoulder stand, we're going to practice with a wall. So if you've got access to a wall or a door or a flat surface that you can climb with your feet, then that is great. And if you don't have access to that, I'm going to do a separate video on how to do this with a chair, but it's a bit complicated to go into many different things in the class. So look for that separate video. It will be free on the channel. And of course, the alternative is always, if you would prefer not to practice it, you don't have to practice it. And the reasons why you might not choose to practice a full shoulder stand would be if you have any acute or long-standing neck and shoulder injuries. Now, I know that there's nobody here practicing in the live session that is needing to rest out of the posture for that reason. But if that applies to you at home, then do bear that in mind. And some people prefer not to practice shoulder stand and inverted postures at that particular time of the month for young ladies. I personally have never subscribed to that, but some people prefer not to. And if you have unmedicated high blood pressure or very, very low blood pressure, then inversions are something to go cautiously with and practice under the guidance of a teacher in person. So I'm going to use a little support for my shoulder stand, and I'm going to use 4 of these thin blocks, and I create a little base to go up into the shoulder stand from. You can use equally well a folded blanket. All you need is just a little bit of lift off the floor. Sometimes we use even bigger blocks than that. And at the end of the class, after we've done our shoulder stand, we're going to do a supported fish pose, a Yin Fish pose. And for that, last week we used a bolster, a rolled blanket, or 2 blocks, something, if you're using a bolster or a rolled blanket, underneath the head, just to prop it up a little bit. So have some of these things handy. If you need to go and get them now, is a good time. And having said all of that, today we're going to start sitting down on the mat. So coming into a seated pose of your choice. It doesn't have to be anything special. I like this Sukhasana easy pose here. You can kneel, you can sit in a chair, and you can even do this bit lying down if you really want to. So as you come into the position of your choice, just feeling the parts of your body that are on the floor and let them be your firm foundation. So feel the weight of them in the floor and the stability of them resting there, and allow the rest of the body to just gently lift. We're not trying to rise particularly tall, just a gentle lift through the body. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes here. And give yourself a moment to arrive here on the mat. Take this moment to truly step away from everything else that's going on in your life and be fully present here for your practice. Take this moment to notice how your body's feeling today. Perhaps you can also become aware of places in the body that need a little bit more space. Places that already feel quite spacious. When you're ready, we're gently going to deepen the breath a little. So as you exhale, gently drawing the navel in to aid that exhalation to be more full. And then as you breathe in, breathing into the sides of the body, the back of the body, the top of the chest. And as you breathe out, just using that gentle engagement to press a little bit more air, exhaling more fully. Breathing into the rib cage, the shoulder blades, the collarbones. And breathing out fully and more completely. As you breathe, feel the breath, fill the body. Find its way into all the little places. And as you exhale, just feeling that gentle engagement in the low belly. A few more breaths like this. Absorbing prana, energy from the air we breathe in, and letting go of the things that we don't need for this practice. And then we'll just gently begin to explore movements through the body. And for this, you do need to be sitting up. So softening the features of the face and just drawing your chin down towards your chest. Let's begin with a gentle roll, one ear to shoulder, chin back to the chest, and the opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. Now, if this particular movement doesn't suit you, you can explore a neck movement that feels like it's doing something, but without the strongest of stretches, without forcing your way through any resistance in the body. If you feel ready, you can gently make circles with the head, not taking the head too far back, just lifting the chin up to feel that openness through the front of the throat, the neck, and in the opposite direction as well. And if your neck is feeling particularly stiff today, you might want to stay with some more neck movements and just explore them. But if you're ready, you can gently free your arms to do some shoulder circles. And of course, allow your head to keep moving so that you still get to explore the relationships between the neck and the shoulders and the chest and the upper back. Let's roll the other way as well. And when you're ready, perhaps softening one elbow and just making some bigger circles with that arm. You might want to turn a little bit more into the torso. And of course, the opposite way as well. And this part of the class is your exploration. So if you have something that's more useful for you to do, then do that. Absolutely. We'll do the opposite side as well. And particularly if you've been in classes with me for a little while, you might be ready to just determine your own body exploration. That's absolutely the right way to go, reversing this side as well. So you make your yoga practice your own. And maybe in the center, you want to start a little bit of snaking from side to side, a little bit of undulation through the shoulders, but also the sides of the body, the spine, and perhaps even a few spinal rolls, body wobbles, and the opposite way as well. If anyone can come up with some good names for these, then that would be great. We should have a competition. The only competitive bit of our yoga class. And then when you're ready, you can extend your legs a little bit. And perhaps you want to keep the knees a little bit soft and roll the ankles and just feel the knees rolling in and out. You can feel a little bit of rocking and rolling on the buttocks as well. You can go in both directions. And perhaps that feels really good. I really like to sit with my legs not as far apart as I can, but exploring that sort of openness of the inner thigh, which is where I hold a little bit of tension, and then just find a sort of lean, a gentle sway in and out, a light flirtation with the hamstrings. But for you, that might not be so useful. So finding some way to work that feels good for you, perhaps with a little side bending, could be quite high up, no problem. Or perhaps a little twisting. And we'll come back to most of these movements anyway during the class. So here we're just trying to feel a little comfort into the body. And when you're ready, if you feel like you've created that comfort in the body, you can gather your knees in, and we're going to just start our class today on the knees. So coming into sitting on your shins. Now, if sitting on your shins doesn't work for you, then stay sitting cross-legged or with the knees slightly apart. And we're going to start with a little side bend. So reaching your left hand quite far away from you to the left, we're going to shift the hips to the right. Now, if that doesn't suit you with the knees together, try it with the knees just slightly apart. So shifting the hips to the right, and then just rolling the right shoulder a little. So here we're trying to feel just a little bit more length down the side of the body. Let's go in both directions. And then if you want to, you can make bigger circles with the arm. Really see if you can feel that point where you get real length all the way to the fingertips down the right side of the body. And again, both directions. There might be a point at which you feel that's just perfect and you might want to stay there. But if you don't find that point, it's okay. We're going to reach the hand up into the air and make really expressive wrist rolls with the fingers all long in both directions. Keep the left shoulder a little bit relaxed, but press away from the floor with the left side. And then right thumb into palm and fingers wrapped around and making those wrist circles with the right wrist. Just feeling, for me, this is the one that gets to places the others don't. And in both directions. And then when you're ready, you can let the right arm come down on the left side of the body and just feel if you can reach the right fingers away from you slightly. Maybe the left can join them as well. Forehead can come towards the floor. It doesn't need to touch down, but if you prefer for it to reach something, you can fold your left arm underneath your head. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we're going to pad our hands round to the front and then just allow the knees to be a little wider here and do a little snaking. So with a bit of support from the hands, just finding a gentle sway from side to side, making sure that there's a sense of softness in the jaw and the face. And then we're going to pad our hands back towards us, bring the knees closer together if that's how you did it on the other side, and do the whole thing on the opposite side. So taking the right hand down quite far away from you, shift the hips to the left, open the knees a little if you need to, and then just begin with a little shoulder roll here of the left shoulder. And the reason why we're doing this again is because we're exploring that relationship down the side of the body. We're going both directions. And then when you're ready, nice, big, expressive arm circling. If that suits you, maybe a little softer arm for some, or a longer arm for others. Allow your head to move as well if you want to, and in the opposite direction too. We just don't want the head to be stuck and stiff. We don't want to hold the neck rigid at all during this class. When you're ready, reaching the hand up to the ceiling and making really expressive wrist circles with the fingers all long and in the opposite direction as well. Just see if you can feel a little gentle downward pressure with that right hand, and then place the thumb into the palm, the fingers all around in the left hand, and making circles with that hand closed into a fist. If you prefer to have your thumb on the outside of your fist, that's okay. We'll go in both directions. That's the ticket. That's the one. And then reaching the left hand all the way over to the right. And you can reach your right hand out to join it. Allow your forehead to come down towards the floor. It doesn't need to meet the floor, but if you want it to meet something, you can fold your right hand underneath it. Keep reaching your left fingertips a little bit away. Take a deep breath into that space that's there and now in the left side of the body. And a deep breath out. And then walking your hands back to the center, keeping the knees wider a little bit here. And again, just taking a little swaying from side to side. And if you prefer to, you can simply rest all the way down, forehead on the floor, for a gentle breath in and a deep breath out. Soften your jaw, walk your hands back towards you. We're going to come onto our bottoms to lie down on our mats, okay? So just bending the knees, reaching the hands out in front of you, and we're going to roll all the way down onto our backs. The feet can come a little bit closer to the buttocks, perhaps a little bit wider than the body. And just take a moment here to allow your spine to arrive in this new position. Checking your face for tension, relaxing the throat, swallowing deeply if you need to, relax your tongue. And feeling not that you have to force the shoulders to be soft, but just allowing your awareness to touch the shoulders and that awareness to soften any effort you're holding there. Aces. So from here we're going to do our bridge poses, and last week we did them in different ways, but this week we're just going to go straight into them with the arms as well. So we're going to draw the feet a little bit closer to the buttocks, but not so close that they can touch. Arms are going to start down by the side, and the head just gently nestling the back of the head towards the floor, perhaps a little bit more purposefully. First, we're going to press into the heels and lift the hips up. And as soon as you feel that tipping of the rib cage into the shoulders, reach your arms up over your head. And then take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And gently release the hips down and the hands down to the side. So again, starting with that gentle pressure down with the back of the head, maybe more firm pressure into the feet and the shoulders. Using the buttocks, pressing down to lift the hips up. And when you feel the rib cage beginning to open, lifting the arms up and over. Taking a deep breath in your bridge pose. A deep breath out. And then floating the hips down and the arms down to the side. Let's do 2 more of those. Gentle pressure down with the head, firm pressure down with the shoulders and feet. Lifting the hips up to when you feel the rib cage tip, then freeing the arms to come all the way up and over. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Floating the hips down and the arms down to the side. Last one. Gentle pressure down with the head, firm pressure down with the feet. Lifting the rib cage, then lifting the arms. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and floating all the way down. Very good. We're going to slide the right hand underneath the right side of the rib cage, palm facing down for evil shoulder opener number 1. So we don't want the fingertips to reach the spine, but at the same time, we do want the flat of the palm on the floor. Stretch your right leg away from you, and we're going to reach the left arm up and over the head as we roll the left knee across the body to the right, and then roll away. So we're doing this little rolling in and out of this twist, and at the same time, just feeling that work on the right side. Now, if it gets too intense, you can make your rolling in and out just a little bit less purposeful, less twist. But if you want to, you can hold your next twist. And as you do, just let your chin come towards your right shoulder. So turning the head, right ear towards the floor. You can use the left hand for support. And if you want to do a little bit more, lengthen your left leg across the body and just let it come to the floor. If you want to do a little bit less, keep your left leg behind the body. Let's take a deep breath in. Try to soften your effort. Deep breath out. And then we're going to gather back that left leg, roll back to the center, free the right arm, and just give the arms a little bit of a wiggle. With the knees bent, allow the knees to come down on the left side of you, roll to the left, and press yourself up into sitting so that you end up with your knees on your right side in our mermaid pose. Very good, everyone. Excellent stuff. Okay, so today we're adding just little bits to this practice. So it's very similar to what we did last week, but just little bits. So today we're going to reach the right arm to the left thigh and just let the left fingers trace around a little bit until we feel an openness in the chest here. And if you want to, you can do just a little bit more than that, but it's really up to you. This is our first twist of the day. Perhaps a softer twist is okay. And here we're just exploring with the head, perhaps turning from side to side. And if you want to, you can perhaps do a little circling of the head here. Again, just side to side. And allow your shoulders to relax. When you're ready, you can bring your head back to center and simply turn to look over your left shoulder. Perhaps feeling a gentle lift in the chest. And when you're ready, returning your head to center, unwinding your spine, just turning a little to the opposite side and back to center. So last week we did a twist and fold and then a wild thing, and we're going to do the same this week as well. So we're going to take our left hand and reach it across the body to reach away to the right side. So we're folding and twisting a little bit in that direction, and then reaching the arms wide. So we spiral up, place the left hand down behind us, lift the hips up and reach the right arm over, nice big circle until the hips come down again. Very good. So reaching the left arm across that right knee and then spiraling the arms up, reaching the left arm behind us, lifting the hips, opening the chest, letting the head follow the arm if you can. And we'll do one more. Spiraling up, reaching the left hand behind you, this time holding your wild thing, pressing into the tops of the feet, the shins, lifting that right arm away from the right knee. Deep breath in, and then as you exhale, just folding all the way down. From here, we're going to come into that toddler wobble. So we're leaning back onto our sit bones to free our feet. But we're going to do it two different ways this week. So we're going to take the hands behind us, and on this round, we're just going to let our legs find their movement. So shaking your legs all around, using your arms for a little bit of support. And then when you're ready, you can bring your knees down on the opposite side so that your legs are on the left of you. Excuse me. And then we're going to bind here for a little chest opener. So if you can, And you easily sit in Padmasana. You can lift your right ankle on top of your left thigh. And then we're reaching the right hand behind us to the left hip. Now, if you can easily reach your foot there, then that's fine, you can bind. But if not, reaching for the inside of your left elbow and reaching your left hand to your foot or your thigh in front of you. So you've just got a little bit of traction here. And here again, gently turning the head from side to side. So we're just beginning to explore the relationships that we've got in the sternocleidomastoid muscles at the front of the neck and into the pectorals. And then we're leaning our left ear to our left shoulder and maybe just lifting the chin up towards the ceiling and chin down. So the head is on the side, just chin up and down. And if you find a spot that feels really good, you can stay there. And if you prefer to move in and out, that's fine too. We'll take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then very gently release if you're holding a lengthened position to come out. And then releasing the arms. And we're just going to give the arms a little bit of a wiggle. And here we're going to do our Gomukhasana arms, but without coming into our cross-legged position. So slide the back of the right hand as far up your back as you can. And then with the left arm, we're just going to make these swinging arm movements, these lasso movements in both directions, just to warm up that shoulder blade so it knows what it's going to be doing. You can probably feel it behind your fingers. And then reaching the left hand behind you, catching hold of the back of the head to begin with. And here you can feel the openness in the front of your body. And we're just going to gently turn the head from side to side a little. And then making some circular movements with our upper body. Now, if it feels good, you can go quite deep into these. And if you feel that you need a bit more support, you can do this cross-legged. Let's go in the opposite direction. Just feeling your way through here. And then coming up to sitting. We're going to slide the hands towards each other. If they don't reach, then keep holding the back of your head. But if they do reach, then interlacing the fingers or using the fingers to grip each other. And again, just checking your head feels nice and relaxed. The neck is able to move. Just exploring how it feels. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then we're going to gently release the top hand and let it slide down. Float down and slide the bottom hand down and around the hip, just giving the arms a little bit of a release. Now from here, we've got a different transition from the one we did last week. So we're going to swing the left leg towards the right side of the mat and twist. So we come into a little lunge here. I'm going to tuck my back toes. And to begin with, we're going to do hula hooping with the hips. So if you take your left foot a little bit wider than your left hand, so you've got both hands on the inside of that foot, and then begin doing a nice little circling motion with your hips. And you can go in both directions, of course. But just warming up those places in the body that we haven't touched perhaps a little at the moment. And then when you're ready, you can bring your left foot a little bit more to center so your arms are on at the either side. Make sure that your back knee, your right knee is not too far away from you. Press the feet away from each other and roll up into an upright lunge. So we don't want too much more than a right angle in the legs at the moment. And then we're gently going to roll the shoulders as we just go gently in and out of this lunge position. So I'm going to let the shoulders be a little spinal undulation here, and in the opposite direction as well. Very good. And then you can inch your left leg, sorry, a little further forwards. And we're going to allow the hips to come a little deeper. Reach the arms up over the head. Still press the feet away from each other. Interlace the fingers so you have the pistol grip. So first finger is pointing upwards, Kali Mudra. And then lifting the shoulders up and drawing the shoulders down. Lifting the shoulders up, drawing the shoulders down. One more time, lifting up, drawing down. And this time we're going to open the chest. So looking up, let the fingers or the hands come over the head a little. If you want to, you can go a little deeper into this lunge position, but just check it's stable, strong in the legs. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then coming out of your lunge a little, separate the fingers, take the hands down either side of your front foot, tuck the back toes under and slide your foot back for downward facing dog. In your downward dog, just paddling through your dog, relaxing the neck by turning the head from side to side, making any movements that feel good to you. And then here we're going to step our feet wider than our hands, but towards the front of the mat to be able to squat down. And we're going to let our bottoms come to the floor and just simply roll back down to the mat. So we end up lying down on our backs to be able to do the whole thing with the other side. Take a moment here. Closing the eyes, allowing your awareness to move around your body to find the places where the work has been done, to absorb the effect of your practice. And this bit is the yoga. All of the flinging yourself around and the funny shapes we make with our bodies is just gymnastics without this awareness that we're building, developing, cultivating. Check that your face is nice and soft, and if you need to, you can relax your tongue by swallowing deeply. And then we'll begin again with our bridge poses. So heels a little bit closer to the buttocks, perhaps than they might be already, and feet a little bit wider than the body. We're going to press the back of the head down gently, but firmly pressing down into the feet, gathering the strength in the buttocks to lift the hips just a little. And then when the rib cage comes up, reaching the arms over the head. Take a deep breath in and out. And then floating the hands and the hips down. We're just going to do one more of these. Gentle press down with the head and then lifting the hips, pressing into the feet, lifting the arms to follow as the shoulders and ribs move. Deep breath in and out and releasing all the way down. Slide your left leg to be long and put the flat of the left palm underneath the rib cage on the left side of the body. So tucking your arm in for evil shoulder opener number 1. Then we're reaching the right arm over the head and rolling to the left with the right knee, as well, and back to center. So just drawing that big circle over the head with the left fingers, rolling in and out of your twisted position. Just checking that that feels not too intense on the left shoulder. And then whenever you're ready, you can stop to hold. Turn the head so that the chin is near the left shoulder or the left ear is towards the floor. If it feels good, then you can extend the right leg in front of you. The extra weight will help you move deeper into this sensation in your left shoulder. But if it doesn't feel good, you can tuck your right foot behind you or leave it on the right side of the body. You can use your left arm for support as well. Whichever is good. Take a deep breath in. Try to relax your face. Deep breath out. And then rolling back to the center, freeing the left arm, just wiggling the arms, giving them a little bit of a shake out if they need it. Knees are bent, let the knees come down on the right side of the body, roll to the right and press yourself up into sitting. I'm just going to swap my legs to the opposite side. So you end up sitting with your legs on the left side of you for our mermaid pose. And first feel the sense of upwardness, lift, and then reach your left hand to your right thigh and let your right fingers trace a line behind you to gently move you into a twist. It's just an opening twist. It's not much of a twist. It's just an opening twist. And here we're turning the head from side to side to begin with. Just making sure that wherever we are, the neck is free and easy to move. And then if you want to, you can do a little rolling of the chin to the chest, ears to shoulders, if that feels good. And then perhaps bringing your head back to center to look over your right shoulder. Again, not holding anywhere that feels stuck or stiff or rigid, just exploring if that now feels a bit more comfortable. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and then gently turning your head to the center, unwinding the spine, turning a little to the opposite side, and back to the center again. Now for our twist, fold, spiral, wild thing, baby wild thing. So taking the right hand, reaching across the left leg or in the direction of the left to curve the spine and lean forward at the same time. Spiral up, arms reached away from the body, place the right hand down behind you, press into the shins to lift the hips and reach the left arm around in a circle. Hips come back to the floor and then reach that right hand across to the left. Spiral up, arms out to the side, press down into the right hand, lift the hips, open, perhaps let the head move with the hand as it comes over the body. And last time, we'll just hold our wild thing for a moment as we spiral up. And as you press down, feel that strength underneath the body, in the buttocks, in the shins, in the right hand and the right shoulder. Open your chest, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And release the hips down. So last time we did toddler wobble, we had our hands on the floor. We're going to free our feet to come forward and then place the feet down and do toddler wobble just with the upper body. So we're keeping the feet for support on the floor and we're exploring in and out how far we can relax back, how far we can reach the arms away from us. And then when you're ready, you can place your feet down on the opposite side and come back into your mermaid pose or deer pose if you prefer. So here, if you can easily do Padmasana, so if you can easily lift your left foot onto your right thigh and draw it close to your hip, then you can use this variation. And if, like me, you can't, then we use the opposite. So slide the left hand across the back of the body so the fingers come out on the right hip. Grab hold of the inside of the right elbow and reach your right hand to your left ankle or foot or even just the right thigh here. We're just looking for a little bit of traction to find that openness. And again, turning the head from side to side, just feeling perhaps where your connections feel the most talkative. And then when you're ready, you can bring your chin to your chest, roll the right ear to the right shoulder, maybe chin up and down. And just see how it feels. If you can feel that connection all the way into the base of the tongue, down the left side of the neck, into the front of the left shoulder, perhaps underneath the collarbone. And then when you're ready, you can bring your head back to center. It's lovely, isn't it? So just releasing the arms, giving them a little bit of an undulation or a shake. And then we'll do our Gomakasana, our cow's face pose as well. So this is my side always, this side always feels a little bit tired doing it straight afterwards. So if that's the case, then I apologize. So lifting the left hand as far up the back as you can, and then making nice big preparatory circles with our right arm here. Just a couple in each direction. Feeling the movement of the shoulder blade on the back, and then when you're ready, reaching that arm up and back and catching hold of the back of the head. And here, relaxing the head into that hand, maybe doing a little twisting, like twisting from side to side, or as I thought I saw Elaine doing a little nod here, that's also really good. And then in this position, we're going to circle our upper body. So if you need to, you can sit cross-legged or you can kneel for this, but try with the legs like this. We're exploring, we're going to do 3 in each direction. We're exploring the relationships between the movements of the shoulders, the neck, the chest, and the hip flexors. So this gives us access to those. When you're ready, you can come to an upright position and see if you can bring the hands together. My fingertips only just touch on this side, so I'm going to grab hold of the back of my head again. But if you can bring the hands together, then hold the hands together. Again, just a gentle twist of the head from side to side, making sure there's no tension or holding in the neck, and taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to release the top hand by reaching up and floating it down to the side. And then slide your bottom hand down your back and release around to the front. Oh, fantastic stuff. Okay, so from here, we're going to do that new transition. We're going to swing the right foot around to over the left knee so that we can turn into a lunge here at the opposite end of our mat. And then we want the right leg to be slightly wider than the right hand, so just outside the width of our shoulders, and making hula hoop circles with our hips. So before we're holding any of our lunge positions, just making sure we've prepared the hips, massage the hip bones in their sockets. Let's go the opposite way as well, or the thigh bones in the hip sockets. And also beginning that conversation with the hip flexors and the hamstrings. Very good. And then when you're ready, you can bring your right foot in towards the center again. You don't want your knees too far apart, so if you need to, you can step your left foot in as well. And then pressing the feet away, just rolling up into an upright lunge. And we're going to here begin a little rolling of the shoulders. And if you want to, you can do a little moving in and out of your lunge as you roll your shoulders, so a little sort of spinal undulation. We're going to go in both directions. I find it easier in one direction than the other. And then when you're ready, you can reach the arms over the head, interlace the fingers, perhaps interlace them the awkward way this time, with the pointer finger pointing upwards. Lift the shoulders so you feel them rise towards the ears, and then draw the shoulders down. Lifting the shoulders up, pressing the feet away from each other, firm in the buttocks, and shoulders down. Lifting one more time. And shoulders down. This time I'm going to slide my front foot forward so I can open into my lunge a little bit, firm in the buttocks, firm in the belly, and reach the fingers behind me, lift my chin, holding as you breathe, nice and slowly, and then releasing the hands, placing them down either side of the front foot, tucking the back toes, lengthening that leg and coming into downward facing dog. Doing a little paddle through your dog. Aces. And here again, turning your head from side to side, maybe pressing into the hands a little bit, activating the back of the shoulders. If you want to do any other variations here, you can. If you want to do a dog in stillness, you can as well. Okay. So we're gently going to walk the feet forward. So we come into a little squat, sitting down. I'm just going to spin around and we'll fold all the way back down to the mat. Arms wide away from the body. Take a moment in your neutral position here to soften any effort in the back of the neck, maybe turn the head from side to side. Feel that openness in the chest. Allow your breath to explore all of the spaces that you've created just by releasing tension and moving the body. And then we will begin again from the beginning. No, we're going to do a few of the things, but not all of the things this time. So bringing the heels close to the buttocks, arms down by the sides. We're going to press into the back of the head gently, firmly into the heels to peel the hips up and reach the arms over the head for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then release the arms down to the sides. Let the knees come down on the right side, on the left side, roll to the left and come up into sitting in our mermaid position. Apologies for that. We're going to take the left hand to the right thigh, the right hand to the left thigh, reach the left fingers behind us and just sit into a slightly stronger twist this time if it's available to you. Feel that length. We're not forcing it, we're just lifting into the space we've got, but at the same time, shoulders are relaxing, tongue is relaxing. Gently releasing with the head to the front. We'll do unwinding the spine and one reach spiral baby wild thing. So reaching the left hand across the right leg, spiraling all the way up, reaching down with the left hand, reaching the right arm up and over, and bringing the hips back down to the floor. Toddler wobble, back onto the buttocks, and this time arms and legs are free, and you can move them in any direction. You can balance on one buttock and then the other. You can make your hands and legs close together or far apart. When you're ready, placing the knees down on the opposite side. Aces. And then here, we're just doing that one bind. So we're sliding the right hand across the back of the body, reaching for the left inner elbow, or if you can bind, then binding. And then very gently taking the left ear to the left shoulder and just opening underneath. A little turning of the head or lifting of the chin if that feels good to you. Hold wherever feels good for a deep breath in, deep breath out, and release your head back to center. Relax your arms. We're going to swing that left leg around so that we can come into our lunge. And this time we want our lunge to be a little bit wider than it was before. We're going to press into both legs and raise the arms up to open the chest, and then press away from your front foot as the arms come down, maybe just taking the hips back slightly, rounding through the back. So we're inhaling as the hips come forward, arms come up, and exhaling as we reach the arms down to the side and the hips come back slightly. So just doing a little opening and rounding. One more. Opening and rounding. From here, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the body, still with our pointer fingers down. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other and point the fingers down to the back heel. If possible, you can open your chest and let your hips come forward a little bit, but keep that stability. So buttocks working, belly muscles working. Deep breath in, looking up, deep breath out. And then pressing the hips to a more neutral position to relax the hands. We're going to place the hands on the floor and step the back foot forward into a forward bend. Here in your forward bend, soft knees and do a gentle sway from side to side. And from here, we're going to bend into the knees and roll up one vertebra at a time. When you come up to standing, reaching the arms up over the head, looking up, and keep looking up as the arms come down to your side. And as the arms come past the hips, bend your knees and sit into chair pose, reaching the arms forward. From chair pose, step back with your left foot and turn to the long side of your mat so that you're in goddess squat. Doesn't have to be goddess squat, but it is in this case. So here we're going to reach the right arm over the left arm. Very good. You can either keep your elbows here, or if you find Garudasana relatively easy, bringing the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands together. And then allow your hips to come a little bit deeper. And we're going to take one circle of the arms and the body in each direction. Very good. Fantastic stuff. Then we're going to come up onto the ball of the left toes, turn the left knee in. So we come back into more of an upstanding lunge. Lift the elbows up, firm in the belly and the buttocks. And then gently pressing off the back foot to come into warrior three. Reach your fingertips away from your toes or your heel in warrior three. Release the hands as you stand up, trying not to touch your left foot down. Cross your left foot over your right thigh or take tree pose and come into standing pigeon. If you're able to, reaching the hands behind you, interlacing the fingers, lifting the arms away from the body, maybe looking down as opposed to looking up. Releasing the hands, stepping your left foot back to the left. We're going to lengthen the right leg and the right arm down, bend the left knee and lengthen the left arm up. So a little surface squat here and just pulsing in and out. Super. Then take your right hand underneath your face, reach your left arm up as you twist to the left and slide the left hand behind the back towards the right hip. Deep breath in and out. And then releasing, we're going to reach the right hand all the way up over the body and come back into goddess squat. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So take a deep breath in and out. It's quite hard to do and talk at the same time. We're going to wrap the left arm over the right arm this time. Hold the shoulders if you want to, and then come into Garudasana arms if you can. And then doing one circle in each direction. Excellent stuff. Wonderful. When you come back to center, come up onto the ball of the right toes. Turn the right knee in, so you come into a little standing lunge. Lift the arms up, opening the chest. And from here, we're just going to gently take the weight into the front leg to come up into warrior two, warrior three rather, reaching, she says, the fingertips away from the heel. Separate the arms, come up to standing, cross the right leg over the left thigh, and take a standing pigeon. Doesn't matter how deep into it you come, and you can choose tree pose if you prefer. If you're able to, arms can be anywhere, out to the sides, on the floor, fingertips, or if you can, reaching the arms behind you, interlacing the fingers, lifting the arms away from the body. Coming out, standing up, stepping back with the right foot, Keeping the left leg long and the right knee bent, reach down with the left fingertips and up with the right fingertips. Pulse here. 1, 2, 3. Place the left hand underneath the head and twist to the right, sliding the right hand behind the body, all the way to the left hip if you can, for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then here, we're going to release the arms. We're going to turn back to the front of the mat and step into downward facing dog. So back to downward facing dog. Take a few moments here, turn your head from side to side, paddle through your legs, doing whatever feels good to you. And then very gently coming down onto your knees. We're going to come down onto our bottoms and slide all the way down onto the floor again. So sitting and rolling back down. Sorry, that wasn't a very smooth transition. For a deep breath in. And a sighing out, I think. So checking you haven't got tension in your face or your jaw. Swallowing if you need to. Let your body absorb the effects of that practice. And then we'll do just the first wee bit again, so we balance our sides. So heels close to the buttocks, pressing the back of the head down gently, pressing firmly into the feet, lifting the hips up, and when the rib cage rises, reaching the arms over the head for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Release the arms down to the sides. The knees are going to come down on the right side, I want to say, yes. And then, oh no, hold on. And then rolling to the right and up into sitting. So hopefully you end up with your knees on your left side into your mermaid pose. Haven't thought about that, but hopefully that works. Reaching the left hand across to the right thigh and just tracing the fingers on the floor of the right hand behind you to the right. Taking a moment here to experience your twist, that openness in the front of the body. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Releasing the head to the center, unwinding the spine. We'll do our one flow with our baby wild thing. So reaching across the left leg as you fold and then spiraling up, taking the arm behind you, lifting the hips, opening the chest as the left arm comes over the head and the hips come back to the floor. Toddler wobble. Coming back onto your onto your sitting bones and allowing your arms and legs to move freely until you have your feet down on the opposite side for our gentle bind. So sliding the left hand behind you to catch hold of the right elbow crease, reaching for the left ankle in front of you, and then just taking your ear away from your left shoulder, making any movements that feel good. Maybe lifting the chin a little, holding where feels good for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. When you're ready, releasing your bind. And we'll just come into our lunge on this side as well. So swinging the right leg around to come into a slightly wider lunge than you did before, pressing up onto your feet and just allowing your arms to be a little bit more expressive as you come in and out of your lunge, making circles with the arms. Could be with just the shoulders if you prefer, go in both directions. And when you're ready, we're going to reach the arms back behind us to interlace the fingers there. Pointer fingers pointing to the back heel behind you. You could just be holding wrist to wrist or elbow to elbow here. And when you're ready, if you want to, firm in the belly and the buttocks, releasing the hips forward to open the chest. Keep pointing your fingers backwards, lifting through your chin for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And releasing back up to upright. We're going to place the hands down and we're going to come into downward dog instead of our forward bend here. So here, gently turning the head from side to side, paddling through the heels, softening through the arms and shoulders as well. With the feet nice and wide, we're going to drop the heels to one side and then just bend and straighten the legs. Come up onto the toes, drop the heels to the opposite side, bend and straighten the legs. Okay, coming back to center, checking your hands, maybe just widening your hands a little, turning the palms out a little, fingers out a little, and one waving vinyasa, one or two. So soft knees, dropping the hips towards the heels, then press off the toes, rounding through the spine. As the chest comes forward, pulling the heels of the hands backwards to open the chest, soft knees, soft elbows, maybe a little sway from side to side here. And then back to the center, lifting up through plank pose or hands and knees if your knees are down, and coming into downward dog. One more of those. So it could be on the knees, could be from the toes. Soft knees, press off the feet, rounding through the spine. Opening the chest as you come to your up dog variation here. And just making any movements that feel good. Perhaps you do a little shimmer around. Perhaps you can lift the chin a little more. And when you're ready, coming up through plank into downward facing dog. And we are going to rest in child's pose, knees apart, forehead to the floor if you can, palms turned upwards if you can. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Soften the features of the face. Relax any tension from the tongue, the jaw. And then when you're ready, you can gently pad your hands back towards you and come into an upright position. If you need to take a moment, you can. If you need to release anything, you absolutely can. And I'm just going to set up for our shoulder stand variations here on this little bit of wall. So time always gets away from me a little bit. Actually, I'd love a 2-hour class, but I also am aware of the fact that most people don't have that much time in the day for yoga. So I'm going to bring a block support, quite a sturdy book size support to be here. And I'm also going to set up it could be a folded blanket for you. For me, it's going to be this little section of blocks here. And it doesn't need to be 4. I'm just used to working with 4. It could just be 2. What we want to do is we want to provide a little bit of lift underneath the top of the shoulders and the upper back, underneath the rib cage at the upper back, but we want to leave the neck completely free. So folded blanket is fine. If you were doing this and your neck wasn't completely free, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world. It's just giving you that option. So perhaps it's a good idea to have a look first, and perhaps you want to do it straight away. And if you know what you're doing here, then perhaps you also want to just give it a go. So I'm going to get myself really close to the wall and then swing my torso down and my legs up. And at the same time, I'm sort of feeling where I am with my blocks here. So I might need to bring my blocks a little bit closer towards me, or what I'm going to do is lose 2 blocks so that I've just got 2 to work with, which is ideal. One of these days I'll get set up so that I know exactly where I ought to be. Very good. Okay, that's perfect. So here I've got the blocks underneath my body, and they're supporting the back of my body, but I've got a little bit of space between my shoulders and the top of the blocks so that I can roll up there if I need to, but the back of my neck is completely free. My legs are up the wall, and for some people, just doing Vipariti Karani, this is legs up the wall, this is a variation with the wall for support, this might be enough. So if you have high blood pressure, very low blood pressure, if you've got a shoulder injury and you don't want to take any effort into your neck or your shoulders, neck injury, then this variation, without the blocks underneath the body, with the legs up the wall, is just perfect. And it works for anybody at any time of their cycle as well. Okay. So from here, because we're exploring the shoulder stand today, we're going to put the feet onto the wall and just do that bridge pose that we did at the beginning of the class. So here you can hold onto your mat, or you can just press down with the elbows, press into the feet and roll the hips up and roll down again, making sure that you're still on your support when you roll up if you're using a support. So pressing down with the elbows, pressing into the feet, rolling the hips up and rolling down. Now, if that feels quite intense, you might want to stick with this movement. And please don't turn your head from side to side as you're in your posture. Rolling up and rolling down. And this time holding if you want to, or you can stick with legs up the wall, or you can come into just the dynamic version of this pose. So here we want to make sure that it feels okay. So the shoulders feel supported, the back of the neck feels spacious. And if it does, you can place the hands onto the back of the body anywhere above the buttocks, and you can lengthen your legs up the wall so the feet are still supported by the wall. And this can be your variation of shoulder stand if it feels good to you. And if you want to do a little bit more, what we're trying to do is just draw the elbows towards each other a little bit at the back of the body. And then we'll press a little bit further off the wall so that the hips come over the shoulders a little bit more, and take one foot away from the wall and then the other. And today, we're not really going further than this bendy banana version of shoulder stand. But wherever you are, supported by the wall or freestanding, looking at your toes, if you can, free your toes from the wall, so just the heels are on the wall, or if the toes are over the body, then just making little movements with the toes or the feet, making sure that the legs are feeling nice and relaxed. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we're going to reach back, toes to the wall, and gently uncurl ourselves back down to lying on our backs. Now, if you've got support underneath the back of the body, taking it away just now, but having that block ready for action. So that's our next thing. So with the block, first we're going to let the body relax after that shoulder stand variation. So with the support out from underneath the body, hopefully it feels a little bit more open on the chest now. And if you want to, you can gently sway your nose from side to side. Excellent. And I'm going to inch myself a little bit closer to the wall because I got away from the wall a little bit there. And now I'm going to take the block that I had also ready, place my feet onto the wall and roll up, and I'm placing my block underneath my sacrum on its longest side. So it's medium height underneath the sacrum. And then just allowing the legs to become longer and supported by the wall again. Arms relaxed away from the body. You can have your arms over your head if your shoulders are really happy to do that, and the arms are completely supported by the floor. And this is a really nice variation of shoulder stand and also Vipariti Karani. So those two are often muddled or taught together, but they're two different postures done for different things. So Vipariti or Vipariti Karani is a mudra. It's a gesture of the whole body, and it's done for specific energetic purposes. And shoulder stand is an asana, so it's complicated to explain, but they are, let's just say they're different. I'll maybe have to do a whole video on that. So if this feels comfortable on the higher setting, that's great. And if not, you can change it to the lower setting. Wherever you are, perhaps allowing the arms to rest down by the sides again if they've been over the head. Just checking that the back of the neck feels free. You feel free in front of the body as well. And then placing your feet on the wall, we're going to turn the block. So lifting the hips, turning the block down to its lower setting, and then relaxing the legs up the wall for a few more deep breaths. So I'm going to stop talking now. And you can take a few moments to breathe deeply. And then when you're ready, feet on the wall, just lifting the hips enough to take that block out completely and letting your hips come down, legs up the wall again. And then just making sure that you haven't got tension holding in the throat, the tongue, the face, the shoulders. Maybe swaying the nose from side to side a little. And in your own time, you can bend your knees into your chest and come back up into sitting. So rolling to one side to come up. Faces. So now that we've done our shoulder stand variation, we're going to do our fish variation. So fish is the counter pose for shoulder stand, and it is the counter pose for shoulder stand in both yin and yang yoga. And we can also do in the fish things like the wheel pose, which is a little bit more intense as well. Okay, so the idea is that having had your neck in a forward flexion, we now give an opportunity for that space underneath the throat. So you can choose whichever supported fish you would like, whether it be over a rolled blanket or a bolster or your 2 blocks. Just making sure that your head is slightly higher than your heart for this variation today. So when you're ready and you've built your supports, if you're lying down over a folded blanket or a bolster, then making sure it's at the base of your spine as you relax down and that the head end is propped up just a little. If you're using blocks, then taking the block that's underneath your shoulder blades on its longest side, its medium setting, between your elbows, so that it's right in the right place, and the block on its highest setting underneath the back of your head, making sure that feels really comfortable, whether it be the rolled blanket, the bolster, or the blocks. And the idea here is to afford the neck some relaxation by supporting the head in quite a neutral position, but at the same time allowing the shoulders and the sides of the body to still fall towards the floor in this passive opening. The knees can be bent with the feet on the floor. You might prefer to have the feet wide and the knees leaning together. If it feels comfortable on your back, lengthening your legs away will further open your abdomen, And if you would like to do just a little bit more, if this doesn't feel too intense for you, then you can bring the soles of the feet together and rest the knees out to the side. Whichever position you choose, make sure you feel supported in your body. So I'm just going to adjust this little block. There we are. So if you feel like your knees are flapping in the air and it doesn't feel comfortable for the groin, then support the knees. Close your eyes. And try to allow your body to release any patterns of holding or effort or tension. If you start from your face, then you might find that that releases tension from other places in the body. Softening the forehead, the eyes, the tongue, the jaw. Relaxing the front of the body, the hip flexors. Feel softness in the elbows, the hands, the fingers. In the legs, the knees, the feet. Here we remember the 3 S's of Yin Yoga. Softness, stillness, and sustainability. Breathe in deeply and gently. As you surrender to gravity. At the end of your next exhalation, preparing to move, if your knees are apart, bringing your knees together. If your legs are long, bending them so that the feet are on the floor. Very gently, as subtly as you can, rolling to one side to release your support and then roll onto your back, allowing your spine to find its neutral position against the floor. Observing the effects of your work, of your practice, as your body comes out of that shape and into this new one. If you have anything to release in the throat or the chest, you can gently roll your head from side to side. And we're going into relaxation now. So if you need to, you can move to grab a blanket, anything else that is comfy for you. And if you're happy in relaxation and you want to go in straight from here, you can simply extend your legs. You might choose to put your bolster underneath the backs of your knees. When you're ready, finding your way into Shavasana. Shavasana, the feet are wide apart with the toes turned gently outwards to relax any holding effort in the hips or the hip flexors.
Arms released away from the body with the palms turned upwards. And try to find a comfortable spot for your shoulders. So it might be further away from your body than you expect, or a little closer than you're used to. Allow the back of the head to be gently supported by the floor. Closing your eyes. And we'll just take a few deep breaths here. So deep breath in, sighing out through the mouth. Repeating that a few more times. A deep breath in, let all of your effort go. A deep breath in, let your body relax. Last deep breath in and surrender down into your mat. Allow your breath to fall back into a natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Feel your forehead soften and spread. Your eyes relax, your tongue and jaw release. As you bring your body to stillness. Notice how heavy the back of the body feels. Warm, supported, releasing and letting go of any effort at all. Notice how spacious and light and open the front of the body feels. Feel that sensation of holding space in the palms of your hands. Feel that same sensation of space underneath your ribs, in your abdomen, at the front of your hips, underneath the soles of the feet. Explore a slightly deeper breath, allowing your breath to move into all of the spaces you've created during this class. Allow the breath to be soft, to feel its way in and out of the body. Allow yourself to drift and relax a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath, moving your awareness into your hands and your feet by wiggling your fingers and toes. Perhaps rolling the wrists, rolling the ankles. And when you feel ready, you can take a deep breath in and stretch the arms. Maybe stretch the back slightly away from the mat. Feel that space under the rib cage. Maybe do a little sway from side to side. And then when you're ready, you can gather your knees into your chest. And here, holding onto the knees or the backs of the knees, just doing a little few circles. Massaging the low back. Or maybe just rocking from side to side. Turning your head. Doing whatever feels good. When you feel ready, you can roll to one side and spend a moment just curled up for a moment, taking your time to come around. In your own time, coming into any comfortable seated position, the eyes gently closed, taking one hand onto the heart and the other on top. Today, thanking yourself for being present for this practice, for allowing your awareness to be absorbed into the movement, the experience, the sensation. Because this is the true yoga, that awareness of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed it.